so what's your name?
Carol.
Carol. Right, Carol, tell us what's wrong.
It's osteoarthritis in most of my joints. My knees are worse. Pain. Consultants have said new knee joints.
Right.
But I haven't gone down that road yet.
Right. And hopefully you won't need to if this works for
So
you.
here, knees, ankle.
Right. Okay. Right. Let's see
Knees
what
are
we can
worse.
do. Right. Cool. Right. Alright, so as I work in Carol's auric field, the first word I've got from back there is injustice. Okay. Now, if you close your eyes, Carol, and if you just reflect on your life, and if you go back through, we don't need to know the content in terms of the details, that's personal to you, but can you see that quite early on in your life there was quite an extreme injustice? It might be injustice in terms of how you were treated compared to how somebody else was treated. Is anything in particular coming to mind?
Really?
Not really. Okay, cool. Okay, when you think about Dad, where do you feel it in your body?
In my heart.
Awesome. So just take your awareness there. And just let yourself feel your connection with Dad. Now, as you do that, what else happens?
Quite calm.
Calm? Yeah. Awesome. So was Dad a very peaceful man?
On the whole, yeah.
Can you understand you not wanting to disappoint him?
Yeah.
Now, some of the diseases that manifest in our bodies, they go back to childhood. And they don't manifest there and then, they manifest years later. Even things that we experienced as childhood can manifest in our bodies later. And I think as we move forward with science and technology, we will understand that some of the things we've been exposed to in our life, they've damaged us. A bit like, you know, how years ago we found out, oh, aluminium saucepans, they might cause dementia. Remember that? The aluminium? We all had aluminium saucepans, and all of a sudden we got rid of them because we realised there was a link between aluminium and dementia. Do you remember that one? It's a few years ago, isn't it? All right. So why are we all still using aluminium foil to cook with? Oh, we not thought of that one, eh? Okay, Carol, what's happening for you now?
I'm feeling quite warm.
Yep.
Comfortable.
Awesome. All right, so what's happening for me, it feels like they are working on bone. All right, and the surgeon that's with me is just, he's smiling away, looking at you guys. And how many of you have spent time this lifetime just wondering who you are and why you're here? And he's smiling at you because you have no idea how incredible you are. You have no idea what amazing things you're capable of, because the programming here is so strong. You've been through an educational system which has encouraged you just to think in terms of jobs. And those jobs are very one-dimensional, and you're multi-dimensional beings capable of amazing things. And you've tried to conform and you've tried to fit in, and sometimes you've compromised yourself. How amazing would it be if we had an educational system that encouraged you to just be you? We'd have a whole different experience of reality here. If you'd studied those things you were really interested in for as long as you were interested in them, rather than being spoon-fed what the system wants you to know. The educational system that we have now has been around for about 200 years. It goes back to the Industrial Revolution, when they needed people to work in factories and people to be managers of factories. It's not about the evolution of the species. It's not about tapping into our potential. I was at university, Oxford University, 2 days ago, because it was the open day. We didn't know it was the open day till we arrived. We met with some students, and they explained to us that all the sciences now, the major sponsors are people like Shell and BP, and the oil companies. They are the major sponsors of the science department. So guess where all the science is going? Yeah. Added to which, Oxford University has a investment fund, an equity fund of 3.4 billion, and some of that is invested in the oil companies, not the solar powered companies, yeah? And so the students are getting together to encourage Oxford University, which is 28 different colleges if I remember correctly, to divest their investments and stop investing in those companies that are destroying the planet with fossil fuels. And isn't that amazing? Actually making a difference. Starting to cook with gas now. What's happening for you now? Vibration anywhere? Not really? Cool. Okay, so you are spiritual beings and you have a physical body. The physical body is finite. It's only going to be here for a certain length of time, but you as a spiritual being, you live forever. You have lived forever. You as a spiritual being, you can sense the energy in this room, you can sense how another person feels, you can know instinctively if something is right or wrong, good or bad for you. But when we identify too much with this physical form, with the story of this life, we forget who we truly are. So just let your awareness now go so that it fills the whole of this room. Just let yourself scan how it feels. You've still got a body. Your brain can still make sense of the sounds coming out the hole in the front of my head, but you can be aware of the space in this room. As you become aware of the space in the room, relative to that vastness, the aches or pains in your body become less. And were you to extend your awareness so that it went beyond this room, out into the starry sky, again, relative to that vastness, the aches and pains in your body would become less. You've been conditioned to think of yourself as this body. And you are more than this body. This body is just like your vehicle. It's like your car or your spaceship for navigating the earth. But you are divine spiritual beings, and you have unlimited potential and also unlimited power. And increasingly, you're going to start tapping into that. lose your connection with that power when you're in your head worrying about this or that. You lose that connection with that power when you're worrying what other people think. When you bring your awareness into your heart and you just do what you know feels good in your heart, you start tapping into your power. Right, let's just see how you're getting on with your knees. So if you want to just extend either leg, just to see how the knees feel.
Okay,
How they feeling? Good. Walk around a little bit.
Light, actually.
Light.